By the end of the week. Joining me right now to talk policy is Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty. He is a member of the Foreign Relations, Appropriations, and Budget Committee. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for being here this morning. So the president keeps talking about this transition that we're in. It certainly is an expensive one. Is he just pushing this clean agenda, this green agenda, as prices go higher to force people to say, I give up, I better go buy an electric vehicle?
It seems to be the case, Maria, but they're living in an alternate universe. The vehicles aren't available. The infrastructure is not available. And what he's trying to do is make it so painful for us to buy oil and gas here in America that somehow we're going to transition over. What he wants to do, I think, is make us more dependent on China. Where are we going to go for the lithium? Where are we going to go for the solar panels? It really is a backwards-looking policy, and he's blindly pursuing it at the expense of our economy, at the expense of, the well-being of every family right here in America.
But, I mean, it's permeating throughout government. The Securities and Exchange Commission recently came out with new rules for all companies to follow. You're calling on the SEC to cancel that proposed climate rule, citing concerns for farmers and ranchers. The SEC's plans forces all public companies to follow climate change rules, including emission disclosures from suppliers, affiliates, customers. Senator, give us your sense of the impact of these rules and what it's doing to farmers.
Well, it's going to be devastating, Maria. You've got the SEC, a bureau full of faceless bureaucrats, lawyers mainly, putting out a 500-page rule on climate change. These aren't scientists. This is the type of debate that should be happening amongst elected officials who represent the people, because there's serious trade-offs that we're talking about. Yet these faceless bureaucrats want to go ahead and make this decision for us. What they're really trying to do, Maria, is they're trying to starve capital from industries that are critical to America. And the result of this is going to be more inflation, higher prices, and it's going to make our nation less competitive as a whole. Farmers are suffering tremendously right now, and this will roll through to food shortages. It's going to roll through to diesel shortages. It's going to be devastating to our economy if we're to allow this to go through.
Yeah, we're going to talk with Alex Sanchez this week, the head of the Florida Bankers Association, and he says it imposes staggering and unprecedented costs, potential liabilities that are untenable for publicly held community and regional banks. Also says it will lead many to delist their stocks. So there's that as well. You're going to question Jay Powell tomorrow when he comes in front of your committee. Are you planning to raise this? What are you going to ask Jay Powell when you speak with him tomorrow?
Chairman Powell's got a tremendously difficult job before him, Maria. I mean, we're looking at unprecedented levels of inflation, and he's trying to deal with very blunt instruments. The monetary policy tools that he have are limited in what they can affect. He's got to deal with this inflation, but at the same time, not push us over the precipice into a recession. The problem that he's got, in fact, the very biggest problem that he's got, is the fact that the Biden administration wants to use either the tool of more taxpayer spending, spending taxpayer money, or they want to add more regulation, or both, which is constraining supply, which is driving up cost and inflation. And in fact, they are working against every aspect of the inflationary fighting tools that Jerome Powell has. So I think he's got a very difficult job. We will talk about that tomorrow. This 500-page rule is part and parcel, again, of constraining supply of capital, of starving capital from industries that we absolutely need to be flourishing right now, making our nation less competitive and driving inflation again through the roof.
Senator, let me ask you, since you're on appropriations, I spoke with the ranking member in the House on the Budget Committee, Jason Smith, who told me that out of that COVID relief package that the president signed into law back in March of 21, several states received hundreds of billions of dollars in money. And he says that that money hasn't even been appropriated yet. So we look at the inflation timeline of how inflation has been stoked by all of this spending over the last year. Obviously, we're at 8.6% right now on the Consumer Price Index. Do you think inflation gets worse because that money has not been appropriated yet in many of those states?
Well, absolutely, to the extent that those states are going to release that money into the economy. Again, more dollars chasing fewer goods. On the regulatory side, the Biden administration is choking off supply and then adding more and more stimulus. These states are not going to be inclined to give this money back. The Democrats in Congress are not going to allow that to happen. We've already seen that. So this, again, is going to have more inflation in the pipeline yet to come.
Wow. That's incredible. Senator, it's good to see you, as always. Thanks so much.
Great to be with you, Maria. Thank you.